Welcome to First Air Assault's supplemental training video, Map Reading, Map Tools, and Markers, which reviews map reading and navigation as well as marking up the in-game operational map. Whether a new member watching this video as pre-work for their fundamental skills training, or a seasoned member wanting to refresh their knowledge, or even a non-member tuning in for this tutorial, we hope everyone takes something new away from this training video. First Air Assault only operates in foreign, unfamiliar lands and usually behind enemy lines, well beyond friendly support. Consequently, navigation skills and the ability to read a map are crucial skill sets that must be mastered by every member of the group. The subject matter will be covered as follows: map reading, a review of how to read Arma 3's in-game map, understanding grid coordinates, using ACE3's Map Tool featuring an operational example of determining location and planning a route, and using Arma 3's map markers. Simply put, a map is a graphic representation of a portion of the Earth's surface as seen from above and drawn to scale. It uses colors, symbols, and labels to represent features found on the ground. In the real world, reading a map requires a legend to define symbols and references, topography, scale, and features defined by different colors. While Arma's in-game map doesn't have a legend and the scale adjusts when users zoom in and out, many of the basic map reading principles still apply. As we'll see, Arma 3 mostly follows modern map standards. First, a look at colors. Green identifies vegetation with military significance such as woods, orchards, and farmland. Brown identifies relief features and elevation such as contours. Black indicates cultural or man-made features such as buildings and roads. And blue identifies water features such as lakes, swamps, rivers, and drainage. Looking at contour lines, knowing the topography for areas of movement and operations should be a key tactical concern. Whether terrain is flat, possibly offers some level of concealment, or is even passable are all important navigational factors. These kinds of concerns can be determined using contour lines, which are represented in brown. The lines are shown in normal and bold weights, with the bold lines indicating a set increase in height. When maps are scaled, this set distance is given, but as mentioned, maps in Arma scale as the users zoom in and out. The bold lines are still a set distance and should be treated as such. The contour line should be used with the following considerations. Each line represents a standard height above sea level. When contour lines are closer together, this means that the gradient is steep. The closer the lines, the steeper the gradient. When contour lines are further apart, the gradient is flatter. Let's review how terrain translates to map contour lines using examples from U.S. military training diagrams. A hill is a point or a small area of high ground. When on a hilltop, the ground slopes down in all directions. A ridge is a line of high ground with height variations along its crest. The ridge is simply not a line of hills. All points of the ridge crest are higher than the ground on both sides of the ridge. A valley is a reasonably level ground bordered on the sides by higher ground, which usually has maneuver room within its confines. A draw is similar to a valley, except that normally is a less developed stream course in which there is generally no level ground and consequently little or no maneuver room. Contour lines indicating the draw are shaped like a V, with the point of the V toward the head of the draw or the high ground. A spur is usually a short, continuously sloping line of higher ground, normally jutting out from the side of a ridge. A spur could be considered as the high ground that helps create the draw. Probably the most important feature of a map is the grid system. Created by horizontal and vertical lines known as longitude and latitude, these divide the map into uniformly spaced squares, or grids, which are numbered on the edge of the map. These numbers are used for a reference system called grid coordinates. Grid coordinates consist of two numbers. The first set of numbers designate the longitude, the horizontal distance across the map. The reference number, or grids, increase from left to right. The second set of numbers designate the latitude, the vertical distance up the map. The reference number, or the grids, increase from the bottom to the top of the map. Grid coordinates are always given in the same order: longitude, or left to right, and latitude, bottom to top, or read right, then up. Maps are usually drawn to a preset scale, which in turn determines the accuracy of grid coordinates. A 4-digit coordinate, example 19-96, indicates a point on the map to the nearest 1,000 meters. A 6-digit coordinate, example 192-961, locates a point to the nearest 100 meters. A grid square at this scale is 100 meters by 100 meters. An 8-digit coordinate, example 1926-9614, indicates a point to the nearest 10 meters. A grid square at this scale is 10 meters by 10 meters. A 10-digit coordinate, example 19261-96149, indicates a point to the nearest meter. A grid square at this scale is 1 meter by 1 meter. When zoomed out, Arma 3's map uses a scale of 1,000 meters by 1,000 meters. This means each square is 1,000 meters across and 1,000 meters high. The map can be zoomed in to enjoy a scale of 100 meters by 100 meters. In other words, 100 meters across and 100 meters high. Placing these numbers into a possible in-game situation, if a location or target is given using a 4-digit coordinate, it's located within the 1,000 meter grid square represented by the coordinates. If given using an 8-digit coordinate, it's located within the 10-meter grid square represented by the coordinates. Bringing this example into the everyday civilian world, imagine meeting a friend for a concert at the local massive arena, and all that's known is they're not in the 7,000 car parking lot, but sitting inside the large 23,000 person arena. Wouldn't it be easier to find them knowing the section and row where they're seated? That's the difference between a 4-digit coordinate and an 8-digit coordinate. Clearly, the more digits in the grid coordinate, the more precise the information. The need for precision in giving and reading grid coordinates can be seen in the next example. 1st Air Assault's Charlie Squad has orders to rendezvous with Delta Squad at a church located in Niachori. The 4-digit grid coordinate of 12-14 is given. Grid coordinates are found along the edge of a map and are always visible whether a map is zoomed in or out. To locate a grid coordinate, the first set of coordinates always refer to the numbers found along the top or the bottom of the map. The second coordinate refers to the numbers along the left or the right of the map. The easiest way to remember this is to read right, then up. We'll use this method to find the given grid coordinates of 12-14. Start at the left edge of the map and read right using the numbers along the top of the map until we arrive at the first coordinate given, 12. Remember, the first coordinate represents the horizontal distance across the map, pointing to the first grid line which borders the area referenced by the grid coordinates. For the next coordinate, 14, start at the lower edge of the map and using the numbers along the left of the map, read up to find the second grid line. With these two numbers, we can see the grid coordinates reference this box, or grid. Unfortunately, 2 churches are located in the area or grid given by the grid coordinates. This isn't surprising, since the 4-digit grid coordinate covers 1,000 meters by 1,000 meters. However, if a 6-digit coordinate is used, 123-145, it's obvious Charlie needs to head for the church north of Niachori. Again, to find the grid coordinates, read right, then up. A convenient reminder of the order of grid coordinates can be found on Arma's map cursor, which constantly shows the 6-digit grid coordinate. By matching the map cursor to the numbers found on the edge of the map, members can use this as a map reading hint. It should be noted by default ACE3 removes the 6-digit grid coordinate along the cursor, but this can be restored by adjusting the settings in the ACE3 mod. If 6 digits or more exact, 8 are amazingly precise. Continuing with the above example, 0 Alpha decides Charlie and Delta should relocate to a house across the street from the church, giving an 8-digit grid coordinate of 1243 break 1452. Regardless of how much the map is zoomed in, Arma only offers grid numbers for 6-digit grid coordinates. The additional information needs to be estimated manually. To do this, find the 6-digit grid or box at 124 break 145. Now we're going to break it down further by dividing the grid by 10 as shown. Next, read right, then up. This gives you 1243 break 1452. We're going to look at this method one more time in a minute. First, some tips on using grid coordinates. 1,000 meters is also referred to as a kilometer. When verbally giving a grid coordinate, the term break denotes the space between the two sets of numbers. Precision is important for requesting any type of support or relaying a position to friendly forces. And finally, 8-digit coordinates can be calculated even using the on-screen GPS. By mentally dividing the grid shown in the slightly enlarged picture below, it indicates a location of 1242 break 1444. Again, this is an approximate grid coordinate, but certainly close enough to sound impressive when reporting a position on the go or even giving a sit rep. Showing off aside, a reminder that Blue 4 are not shown on the map in First Air Assault's world, so the ability for everyone to communicate their location is crucial. Let's look at ACE3's Map Tool, a multi-use tool made available through the ACE3 mod. The Map Tool helps measure distances, calculate grid coordinates, and assists in navigation. Every member carries the Map Tool in official missions through the hard-coded loadouts in First Air Assault uniform mods. To access the Map Tool, press M to open the in-game map. Press the ACE self-interaction keys, Windows and Control. Choose Map Tools. Choose Small Map Tools. The Map Tool appears on the bottom left-hand corner of the map screen, so members may need to zoom out to see it. Grab the tool by clicking on the tool and holding down the left mouse button while moving the mouse, and move it where it's needed. Following the standard of all members speaking a universal language, members in training should take note of the term of the Map Tool's features to make the learning process easier for the entire Fundamental Skills Training class. These are a leading line, a long red line that runs along the length of the map tool, a grid tool, 2 squared lines which feature measurements, a ruler which runs along one side of the map tool and it's used to measure distances, the center, the map tool pivots around this center point, and compass degrees. When using the tool for compass direction, First Air Assault only uses the numbers located in the inner circle. It's a compass divided into 360 degrees, which is the most common unit of measurement. The outer edge features mils, which is another unit of measurement found on a compass, and it's used mainly by militaries in artillery, tank, and mortar gunnery. There are 2 ways to move the map tool. Move the map tool around by placing the cursor over the map tool and holding down the left mouse button. The tool can be rotated by placing the cursor over any part of the plastic except for the inner lower circle indicated by the compass degrees. Once over the plastic tool, press the Alt and left mouse button and move the mouse to rotate as needed. Let's look at calculating an 8-digit grid coordinate with ACE3's Map Tool. The grid tool can help quickly calculate the 4th digit in each axis for an 8-digit grid coordinate. There are 2 methods. One to create the 8-digit grid coordinate, and the other in finding the 8-digit grid coordinate. Going back to the scenario of Charlie and Delta squads moving from the church to a house located across the street, 0 Alpha actually calculated the grid coordinate of 1243 break 1452 by opening and placing his map tool over near Chori following the steps we talked about earlier. When placing the corner of the L on the desired location, in this case it was the house, this is what 0 Alpha noted. The hashes that fall on the edge of the relevant grid indicates the 4th digit for each axis. Reading left to right for the first axis, there are 3 hashes from the edge of the grid to the corner where the zeros meet. Reading from the bottom to the top, there are 2 hashes from the edge of the grid to the corner where the zeros meet. 0 Alpha quickly and accurately calculated the 8-digit coordinate as 1243 break 1452. Staying with the same situation, but switching to Charlie and Delta squad leaders' point of view, they can determine the 8-digit grid coordinate using the map tool. Bringing up and positioning the map tool, as we talked about before, the entire tool is rotated 180 degrees and positioned so the L sits perfectly on the grid in question. As with the other system, it's all in the hashes. Again, reading from left to right, the squad leader counts in 3 hashes to find the 3 in 1243. Reading from bottom to top, the squad leader counts up 2 hashes to find the 2 in 1452. These examples show, once comfortable using the map tool, either method can be used for either need. Leadership roles in 1st Air Assault are issued rugged electronic tablets which can quickly and accurately calculate direction and distance for possible navigational routes, locations, or even possible enemy. However, much of this information can be gathered using the map tool, which is carried by every member. Continuing with the same scenario, 1st Air Assault is tasked with taking nearby hilltop Hill 9-1. In weighing the options of whether to move ground troops by foot or air, Zero Alpha asks for squad leaders to collect and submit route information. It's decided to calculate the information using a direct route, or a straight line from the house being occupied by Charlie and Delta squads in Neochori to Hill 9-1. This can be quickly calculated using the map tool. Open and position the map tool so the center is over the house occupied by the squads. In other words, it's at the beginning of the route. The map tool is rotated until the red leading line points directly at the destination, in this example, Hill 9-1. The first piece of needed information is the bearing, or what direction the ground troops need to move. This comes from where the leading line intersects with the inner circle of the compass degrees. In this case, it's 10 degrees. Next, the map tool is moved to the position to the ruler's 0 at the beginning of the route, above the house being occupied by Charlie and Delta squads in Neochori. Members should be careful not to rotate the map tool when moving it in place to retain the correct angle of travel. At this scale, the ruler measures 1,000 meters or 1 kilometer per number. Users can quickly calculate the distance that needs to be covered as 2,200 meters. In these few steps, we've shown how the map tool can calculate the following items in a few quick movements. The group needs to move at a bearing of 10 degrees. The distance will be approximately 2,200 meters, or 2.2 clicks. Assuming a member can complete 100 meters in approximately 1 minute, it can be estimated to take just over 20 minutes to get there without any stops or unforeseen encounters to reach Hill 9-1. With a basic plastic tool, anyone on the ground can calculate and report the above information up the chain of command. This walkthrough demonstrates why every member should ensure they're confident in using map tools and have the confidence to read a map. Now we understand how to read and navigate the map, let's look at adding map markers. A map marker is a visual aid placed on a map. Simply put, a map marker removes the need to draw attention to a place on the map by repeatedly giving grid coordinates. Before walking through how this is done, a few notes about adding markers to the map during a mission. Members should ensure they have permission to put a marker on a map. Imagine how cluttered the operational map would quickly become if every member noted every little thing on the map. Once a marker has been placed, members should remember to delete a marker if the information becomes stale or irrelevant. However, members should clear any marker deletion with the chain of command before doing so. And it's important to select the appropriate channel, such as group or side, to share the information with members who should see the marker placed. This walkthrough features the ACE3 enhanced map marker system. However, the commands for Arma 3's vanilla marker system have been included as well. To add a marker, double-click the left mouse button where you want to place the marker. Press the up and down keys on the keyboard to change the type of marker. Hold left shift and press up and down to change the color of the marker. If needed, you can rotate the marker. You can enter text while creating the marker. And confirm the marker placement by hitting the Enter key. To delete a marker, just point at the marker with the cursor and press Delete. Arma 3 features a map marker shortcut on the top right-hand side of the screen. Although abbreviated, you can choose the color and marker type here before double-clicking the left mouse button to place the marker on the map. The ACE3 mod also brings additional features to map markers. It adds the ability to move map markers after they're placed. To move a marker, hold down the Alt and left mouse button on the marker and move it. Another way to mark the map, Arma 3 features line drawing. The line drawing is a feature that helps members convey complex plans or detailed intel. To do this, just simply hold down the left control key and the left mouse button as you move the mouse. To draw a straight line, hold the left shift and left control keys as well as the left mouse button and move the mouse to draw the line. Lines, as with markers, are deleted by hovering the cursor over the desired line and hitting the delete key. Well, that wraps up First Air Assault Supplemental Training Video, Map Reading, Map Tools, and Markers. New members may feel overwhelmed if learning map reading and navigation for the first time. The quickest way to proficiency is to use the skills outlined in this video and wherever possible, follow along with others in the group as they apply these skill sets in weekly operations. Regardless of whether you're a member of First Air Assault or not, we hope everyone learned something new from this video. If you aren't a member and would like to learn more about First Air Assault, please visit our website and introduce yourself. We look forward to hearing from you. As for the members, well, we'll see you on the battlefield.